Hello everyone, this is Vanshika Tainwala, legal intern under Lexis and Company for the month of June, and today in this video I will be talking about a case of Dr. Subramaniam Swamy versus Director CBI and another. In this case, the introduction of this case goes on like on 6 May 2014, the Supreme Court of India passed a judgment which ruled out the provision which was meant to govern the working of CBI, an Indian agency that is anti-corruption by nature, relating to the method adopted by the agency to carry out the procedures of investigation of an accusation of corruption made against the civil servants who acquired the rank of higher than the joint secretary. So this judgment was passed for the case of Dr. Subramaniam Swamy versus Director of CBI, that indeed changed the destiny of Indian investigating agency, familiarly known as the Central Bureau of Investigation, or we normally call it as the CBI. So the background of the case was such that the central government of India, with its sagacity, tightened the independence of the CBI by making it obligatory to take antecedent permission of the government for carrying out inspection at primary levels of any civil servant of a significant rank. So with the functioning of CBI in stake, a 3-judge bench of the Apex Court erased such a blockage in the functioning of the investigating agency, upholding that such a provision was ultra vires in nature for it, as it invalidates Article 14 of the Constitution of India. So the same concept of single directive was reintroduced by the central government through the means of Central Vigilance Commission 2003, thereby providing legal status to the Central Vigilance Committee in order to carry out the previous provision without any further obstacle. So the government provided reasons which said that the free functioning of the senior civil servants was counted as necessary without having any thought of getting it prosecuted. So this very reason cannot be treated as fair enough in order to do away with the role of investigating agencies. So further, an amendment along with the introduction of the commission was brought in the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act of 1946 by the means of Section 6A, which provides that the central government with the authority to approve to the special forces of Delhi Police, in the absence of which no conducting of inquiry at any level can take place. So in the present case, 2 writ petitions were filed by the petitioner by the Center for Public Interest Litigation. So under Article 32 of the Indian Constitution, it was challenged the validity of Section 6A of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act of 1946, and the other was challenged under Section 26C of the Central Vigilance Commission Act of 2003. Both the acts and sections were challenged. So the former petition was made in consideration into Section 6A of the Act, which was inserted by Section 26C of the Central Vigilance Commission Act 2003. So the main issues were, first, whether the provision in question can be held liable for the rule of law for the provision provided the special status or the rights of certain dignitaries, thereby discriminating against the others. So in this issue, the court held that whatever the case may be, the law is always above the man and the rule of law shall be applicable, and therefore no provision can exist which contravenes the rule of law. So this is because the base of any legal provision in India is outlined is the rule of law. So the essence of the constitution lies in the rule of law and equality before law, and therefore the provision will be liable for creating the discrimination. Therefore a rank cannot be the basis of determination of treatment offered. So the second issue which came upon is the front of the court was that whether the writ petition filed by the petitioner is maintainable in this court of law. The court held that it is maintainable because they are based on reasonable grounds. The third issue which was in the front of court is whether the provisions hampered the independence of investigating agencies. So the petitioners claim that the provisions were infringing Article 14, restricting them from equal treatment. So the arguments were raised from both the sides, and definitely the court laid down the judgment. The court acted precedent upon the case of Vineet Narayan and others versus Union of India and another. In the former case, the court refused to agree with the arguments presented and said that the ambit of single directives include a certain class of designated officers, eliminating the others for the motive of investigating for any other offence held to be committed. So the court also viewed that the monitoring of the investigation is supposed to take place for checking malice involved in the act. So the court held that the writ petitions filed by the petitioner was held to be valid, and the court observed that the petitioners were enough to challenge the provisions of the Article 14. So the doctrine of rule of law cannot be compromised on any ground. Also, Section 6A, Clause 1 provides the authority to the central government to permit investigation, was held to be invalid by nature and was also considered to be contrary of Article 14 of the Indian Constitution, and Section 6A of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act does not satisfy the reasonable grounds with context of Article 14. So therefore certain provisions of the Central Vigilance Commission of 2003 were also in contravention with the Constitution. Also those have to be removed, and the court held that the classification should be based on the intelligible differentia and not upon the basis of rank. So the court held the single directives in this case. Thank you for listening. Hope you understood this case. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you for listening.